Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're shifting gears a bit, looking at the future of how we do research. Not just a search bar, but something more dynamic, like an engine built from two kinds of AI working together. Or maybe against each other.
Yeah, sometimes maybe against each other. We're looking at how you fuse these really precise, private AIs, the ones that only learn from your documents, your notes.
Like Google's notebookLM, that kind of thing.
Exactly. How you fuse those with the big open web explorers, the agents out there digging through everything. The mission really is to see how this mix gets us past just finding information.
Right, beyond retrieval.
Into actually generating new knowledge, creating this sort of symbiotic knowledge engine.
Symbiotic engine. Okay, but you mentioned they work against each other. Sounds like a conflict.
Well, there's a fundamental tension, yeah. It's all about architectural bias. You've got precision on one side and recall on the other. Two different goals.
Okay, let's break that down. Start with the first type, the private system. The walled garden, maybe?
Good way to put it. It acts like your personal expert, But it's built only from what you feed it. PDFs, notes, transcripts, even audio. Its core strength is what we call source grounding. Meaning every single answer it gives, every insight is explicitly tied back, cited to the specific text you provided. High factual precision, but only relative to what's inside the walls.
So it won't just make stuff up?
Never. It can't. Its key output is creating this amazing personal knowledge graph, like a semantic map of your private knowledge world.
But okay, the downside is obvious then. If I haven't uploaded a document about, say, quantum physics.
It knows nothing about quantum physics. Zero external recall. It cannot discover what you don't already, in some sense, possess.
Which brings us to the other side, the open-corpus agents, the explorers.
Right. These are your autonomous digital navigators. They roam the public web, but crucially, they use semantic search.
Not just keywords, but concepts, meaning.
Exactly. Finding conceptual relevance. It's less about matching words and more about understanding the ideas. Almost like a meritocracy of ideas, finding connections that old-school link-based algorithms might just ignore.
So they cast a really wide net. Maximum recall. Finding obscure stuff, novel connections.
That's the goal. Catching things you didn't even know to look for. But, and this is the big but, that wide net comes at a cost.
Precision takes a hit.
Big time. You get a much higher risk of pulling in noise, irrelevant data, maybe even just unverified information.
Okay, so we have the precise hermit, who knows my stuff perfectly, and the worldly explorer, who finds everything but might be unreliable. How on earth do you stitch these together effectively?
Yeah, it's not like just plugging them into each other. It's more dynamic, a cycle.
Yeah.
It starts with contextual seeding.
Meaning you use the private knowledge.
Your personal knowledge graph, yeah. That becomes the initial prompt, but a really sophisticated one. It gives the web agent very specific context for its search.
But wait. If my personal knowledge is the starting point, doesn't that just bias the search towards what I already think I know? How does it find genuinely new or challenging stuff?
Good question. Because the agent's mission changes. It's not just doing a broad search anymore. It's tasked with strategic gap filling. Specifically, two key things: validation.
Checking if the outside world confirms what's in my notes.
Right. And, crucially, contradiction. It's actively programmed to look for information that challenges or contradicts the facts and assumptions within your personal knowledge graph.
Oh, okay. So it's like setting up a debate. My knowledge is the thesis. The agent hunts for the strongest antithesis.
To help you reach a new synthesis. Exactly. That's the dialectical loop.
And when it finds something interesting, validating or contradicting,
then it comes back. New findings get intelligently integrated, or at least presented, within your private environment. We call that data triangulation. It shows you the links this external paper seems to contradict paragraph 3 of your notes here.
And I decide what to do with that, whether to accept the new source.
You're the editor-in-chief. You curate what gets formally ingested and becomes part of your evolving knowledge graph.
This synthesis part, that sounds like where the real breakthroughs could happen. Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine a biochemist. She uploads all her lab notes, years of research into her private system. The personal knowledge graph maps it all out. Then she uses the integrated agent. Guided by the semantic patterns in her own work, the agent searches the web, maybe looking for contradictions or novel links. And it finds this obscure paper in material science describing a weirdly similar geometric transformation, but in synthetic polymers. Something she'd never have found.
Wow. A completely different field, but a relevant underlying pattern. That could unlock something huge.
It could accelerate discovery dramatically. It's like having a specialist consultant in every related field constantly reviewing your work for unexpected connections.
Okay, that's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
But it also sounds risky. You mentioned unverified data earlier.
Absolutely. This power brings serious challenges. The biggest one is probably the verification dilemma.
How do you trust the obscure stuff?
Exactly. Obscurity often correlates with unreliability, right? So the system needs more than just search. It needs an epistemological layer, something that helps with automated triangulation, source credibility analysis, basically giving you signals about how much you should trust this new piece of information.
So you're not just blindly accepting the agent's findings.
You can't. And there's another risk. Echo chambers. If your initial notes are biased, couldn't this superpowered agent just find more stuff online to confirm your existing biases?
Yeah, personalized misinformation on steroids.
Potentially. So, to counter that, the agent needs a directive for, let's call it intellectual diversity or maybe engineered serendipity. It has to be explicitly programmed to seek out contradictory viewpoints and disconfirming evidence. It must challenge your core assumptions, not just echo them.
So, wrapping this up, what's the big picture takeaway here? This technology seems to fundamentally change how we interact with information.
It really does. Your role shifts. You're not just a passive searcher typing keywords anymore. You become a strategist, a curator, an architect of your own knowledge engine. You define the core, but you also actively guide the challenge to that core.
And the quality of what comes out, it still depends on us.
Entirely. It hinges on two things: the quality and rigor of your initial knowledge curation, what you put into that private system, and the strength of your final critical judgment when assessing what the agent brings back. You remain the ultimate arbiter of truth.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty challenging thought to end on. If you had an AI this powerful, capable of scouring the deepest corners of the web, specifically to find information that contradicts your most fundamental professional beliefs, what's the single most important assumption you currently hold that you would task it to try and prove wrong?